welcome to episode 277 of our SAP on Azure video podcast. Today is December 15th, and together with Goran, we are here to talk about anything related to SAP and Microsoft. Hello, everyone. So, I love playing adventure games. When I was younger, I was playing games from SierraOnline or LucasArts and many others, and one of my favorites was, and actually is, Day of the Tentacle. However, the game that probably started it all was Zork, a text-based adventure game. In one of the first interactions in the game, it says, Zork is a game of adventure, danger, and low cunning. No computer should be without one. So very recently I learned that you can actually play Zork in the SAP GUI. It's getting even better because our guest today, Alice, has developed it using Vibe coding. So to learn more about the game, how Vibe coding helped, and how it found its way to ABAP, I'm really glad to have Alice back with us today. Alice, welcome so much back to our show. Maybe before we see Zork in the SAP GUI, maybe you can start with a quick introduction about yourself.
Alice, and I work with computers since 1991, probably. So one of the first games was also like adventure games that was kind of interesting for me. Well, the whole concept of adventure text games was actually really fascinating because it would not require any graphics, like really only your imagination and typing, and it is quite interesting to explore the world through the verbs and vocabulary of the game. Yes, and in my spare time, I work at Microsoft, and in my spare time, I prepare some tools for myself to improve my work, my daily work. And it so happened that you can apply these tools for fun. And most of this kind of application actually is for fun. So I remember that in previous podcast that we met, we actually discussed this. Is Vibe coding possible in ABAP? Is it ABAP? And we tried this slightly with that universal MCP to OData bridge. The problem with that was that there were too many layers of complexity, so you have to wrap all the code into the data payload, send it, and it should be unwrapped there and created and stuff. So recently, we actually met on Tech Ed in Berlin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my key there. So, and there was also Marcello Urbani who developed first VS Code plugin that will work directly with ADT about development tools. And he also mentioned that there is a library that he written, like extracted from this plugin, and it was based in JavaScript, as far as I remember, or to TypeScript, and there was also a version in Python. So I thought, okay, if we have something for reference, then we can re-implement that in Golang. Why Golang? We also touched this point last time because it's really easy to install on any platform, and like one binary, no other dependencies there. So, long story short, after I found library together with Claude, my best peer programmer colleague, we did the first iteration, the first working prototype in one day, and it was possible to do the development right there in ABAP. And also it unleashed the power for Claude to explore the ABAP code, to see it through the ADT, because through ADT, the standard ADT can give you access to source code, to the content of the tables, so it can kind of probe the tables, because as you remember, in Eclipse you can go to the table and see what's inside, and like filter, or select only needed columns, whatever. So basically, we have access to the code. We have access to the transaction data, or maybe customization data, which is more important for development, or ABAP development. So we have all the pictures. So, and with just this enabling reading ABAP code, we enable the way to understand how it's actually implemented on the other side. So it is really good for developing unit tests and identifying the edge cases of all the constraints that actually encode, because when we're doing the unit test, we want it to break and then fix, or like add or install the constraint there. So with just this simple implementation, we could understand how it should work, and it was iteratively improving itself for probably a week. And in a week, it was settled down, and I didn't want to just go to LinkedIn and show, look, this will solve all your problems with ABAP Vibe coding or all the developments, because it can kind of look into the code, it can produce the new code, it can create reports, classes, interfaces, except something that is not possible through like screens and GUI statuses. That is on us, that is for human. Yeah, so basically I wanted to have a proof that it's worth it. So I thought, okay, about 4 years ago, Lars has created the WASM interpreter implementation on ABAP, which is like a WebAssembly interpreter. So you can actually run anything that was compiled for the WebAssembly and run it inside ABAP. I believe that he needed it for his really cool experiments and CI/CD with ABAP. So that is actually really, really inspiring. So why not Zork? Yeah, and Zork is basically a nice nice significant thing of that era. And it was and the source code of Zork was recently released by Microsoft, because after all the acquisitions, it happened that Infocom that released Zork was like in Activision, and
then
and now
there was a blog
Microsoft,
from
and
Scott Hanselman.
and Scott Hanselman actually did this. He's driving all this open source and developers advocate kind of thing. So yeah, that was really cool to actually join the party and implement Zork in ABAP. So for that, we needed only one thing or two things: implement Z machine. It is virtual machine that will run and interpret that Z code, which is kind of like virtual machine for those adventures. Because the idea was when back in that time in 70s and 1980s, there were a lot of different small computers which were incompatible. So not to recompile and do the whole program, the whole game, which was quite huge, they like did the really cool trick. They just created small interpreter, and that Z code that basically was like a Java machine. Let's say like so compile once and run anywhere. So the only thing that they needed to port to another computer, Z80 is 6502, that Motorola MOS stuff. Which powered Apple II and other computers. They just needed to rewrite a small interpreter. So with this in mind, we have Zork source code, we have a Z machine specification, and we have Claude, and we have this ADT to MCP bridge, which I called just for fun, vibing Steampunk. Why not? Because that's how ABAP in cloud is called, Steampunk, as far as I remember. And let's add some vibing on top. And actually, that machine was ready in one day again. And I could show it, and I created this small article on LinkedIn to show how it was done, and some other historical stuff to make it not too boring. Then I could not stop, and on the next day I created, together with Claude, simulator, an emulator of the processor 6502, which was powering Apple II, BBC Micro, also Commodore 64, and Atari, as far as I remember. So kind of, as far as I know, it is really easy to emulate because it has not so many opcodes and only 3 registers, so it was really fun. But my heart is always with Z80 and ZX Spectrum, so I couldn't stop there. So on the next day, I was doing, okay, what if we will be able to implement the full Z80 emulator and we will run CPM on it, which is the operating system for 8-bit computers, and MS-DOS was actually kind of ancestor of that. And then there we can run Zork, because there was a version of Zork that was running inside CPM, was compiled for CPM. That was that would be a really cool several layer inception. So, and to actually make it really epic, why not to do this in Lars transpiler, which is ABAP transpiles into JavaScript, and then it will run our Z80 emulator, which will run our CPM, and it will run Zork, and Zork is running actually in that machine. So it's like, wow, how many layers?
Christopher Nolan would be so proud of you. This is much better than Inception.
Yeah, but yeah, enough talking. Let maybe show
Let's
this.
take a look at this. Yes.
Yeah.
So all the stars aligned, basically. You have everything in place, and now we'll see the results.
Yeah, let's go here. I will look there because
all good. Yeah. So we can see the SAP GUI.
And yeah, there's another important part that kind of was meant properly. As you can see, Zork is perfect name for the custom transaction. It starts with Z.
Z. Yeah.
Yes. Z. Yeah. And yeah, this is Zork Mini, and don't die. Yes, we are here. I'm not sure. Yeah, we can do this, and yeah, this is like
cool.
classical start. When I first like, oh, this is amazing. So what we can do? We can actually open mailbox. Yes, and there is leaflet. Let's read.
Oh no, and then read the leaflet. Exactly. I think.
Yes.
Perfect. There you go. Yeah. No computer should be without one, and now it also runs on the SAP GUI.
Yes. Cool. Back in the days, 20 years ago, I had only that Tetris for fun. Yeah. But yeah, now it's better. Yep.
Really nice.
Cool.
Perfect. So this is now Zork running in the SAP GUI, and while I'm sure. Is it amazing?
Basically, any game that was compiled and created for that machine can run. So this is another game, probably abandonware or freeware now. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can find there's really nice retro computing sites for that. So you can probably play many games that created for that machine. So this is another one.
Nice. Yeah, so it is really running in the SAP GUI now. This is amazing, and I'm sure there are a lot of SAP ABAP developers that will now stop developing and playing Zork, but I think it's even more interesting how you did it, and seeing, yeah, how you actually developed it. What I mean, you mentioned some of the pieces already that you put in place to get there, but maybe, yeah, exactly. You can show us a little what was generated, what you and Claude developed, and how you did it actually.
Yeah, so the main starting point was the memory and memory and object implementation, and to actually test if the game is working. My first approach is to create tests so we could stay with railguards that we want to achieve. And actually, there is another nice transaction which will demo. So this is Zork speedrun. We selecting the game that we want to test and the file that will test it. So let's run and run. So what it will do. Not sure. Can we? No, we cannot. So you see, is running, and from the text file we have this
all the instructions.
That will be all the instructions. So look north,
Great.
climb tree.
Yeah.
So going, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so basically this is mini Zork, so it's like really quick to speedrun and walk through. And yeah, your score is 50, blah, blah, blah. And this is like, welcome. This is just a speedrun, but what if we will be able to test if the response is actually meets our expectations? So this is like unit tests for mini Zork. So you can see that this is expected, and this is the comment, and yeah, we can see that when we're doing this, we expecting north of house. Yes, it is there, and all of the things are actually green, so everything is okay. So this is simplifying all the development, and it helps not to break what's already developed, because yeah, we all know vibe coding. The term vibe coding become quite controversial because I was vibe coding and it deleted my production database.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that the problem is not in vibe coding on the tools.
Yeah.
As they say, the problem is between keyboard and the chair. Yeah. So, or the process had no this strict guard rails or stuff.
But maybe Alice just might be some guys who never heard what's vibe coding, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So what
vibe coding is the term that was coined by Andrei Karpathy, as far as I remember, about 1 year ago, and the idea was to do the coding, to do the development without looking into the actual code or without touching the IDE or anything. So you just chat with a bot, with a chatbot, and doing the stuff. Well, initially it was, as far as I remember, just copy and paste from the chatbot like ChatGPT. But when MCP appeared, you can actually do this. All the AI assistants got their capabilities to actually do things, to run tools, to create file, to search for some fragment, to replace it, to compile, to test. And that is how you just chat, do instruction to the bot, and then you got the result.
So like you would say, build me a small web app that does something, right? As an example, and it would generate the code as an example. So you just
compile,
describe what
deploy,
you want.
Test.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's obviously then amazing if you have these unit tests, and with Zork, obviously that's fairly easy because you have the solution basically. You have all the things that you want, which is perfect. But then having these unit tests obviously really, really helps, because if you then do some wipe coding, if you change the code, you can anytime run the tests, and then you'll see if something breaks or if it improves. So this is really nice. Is there a way, can you show us maybe the first steps, how you did the development, and how it looks like basically?
Yeah, but before that, if you have some time,
yeah, of course.
the next day, I thought that we have to kind of improve, to increase the complexity, the level up, and the next day it was another demo for this MOS 6502, which is quite also significant thing. So this is like virtual computer, which might be compatible or might be not compatible. Apple II, Commodore, they have all these differences, but we can run this Microsoft Basic from 1979, which was also recently released by Microsoft to open source. So it was compiled from that sources, and we can run it. And now we have the actual Basic. That is, that's the only bug that I have. If I will not tell it what is the memory size, it will break. Well, let's wait for a while.
Yeah, no problem. So basically now I can do Basic in ABAP, in the SAP GUI.
Yes, well, the Basic, yes. One moment, I had to answer how much memory, because there's the bug in terminal with let's do this, and now we can do the stuff. So let's create print hello, 15 hello world, and then run. Yes. Oh, it be uppercase. Run. Yes. Trying.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, let's probably show how it is done. So if we will go here and let me check. CPU, yes, here it is. So yeah, initially it started as a simulator of this CPU. So, and then we just compile Basic. So we just run Claude. And the tools in ADT, yes, I trust this folder. They are kind of created in the similar way as the native tools of Claude, which it uses for the access to the file system. So it has like search for objects, replace and stuff. So it is more natural to Claude than some weird other stuff. So let's go and open just to see what we have here. We have this A4H trial system, and now we can see the tools. Maybe I can increase the size. Yeah, so we have activate, create package, debugger attach, debugger detach, debugger get tag and stuff, edit source, find references, find definitions, find dependencies, get CDSs, dump features. So basically, with this, get table contents, get trace, grep, all this nice stuff, which basically gives the same tools to the assistant that you would use as developer and for diagnostics and maybe for actual coding. And then
So Alice, so this MCP server basically allows Claude to really interact with the SAP system with all the tools that you just listed. To look up information, to look up packages that are installed, to look up classes, tables, definition, customizing in the SAP system. So Claude now has access to the SAP system and can really read and understand what's going on. But then the MCP server also has access via the tools to create new packages, to create classes basically. So now with Claude, you can really interact with your SAP system with the full context understanding. So Claude can really help you generate code in the SAP system.
Yes, and there is no code locally, so all the code is
great.
in there. So because there are two approaches for this vibe coding in ABAP development. First, that Lars is proponent of is to take everything, have it locally in files, do the stuff locally in files, and then transpile and test, and then push it back. That's one of the approaches, and another one is to do directly everything in SAP. There might be some challenges with this one because sometimes if you create something in SAP as an object, it will be hard to change or delete it because some objects might end up in transports or whatever. Yeah. And if we meanwhile, I will ask it to inspect the package. Sorry.
6.1.
Yeah. And explain how work and yeah. Oh, meanwhile, and so initial implementation will just mapping one-to-one this ADT tools to MCP, but it is quite complex for the. It was quite complex for the assistant because to do something with an object, you have to lock it, change it, do something, and then unlock it and stuff. So I end up with like aggregated smart composite tools. So the agent will tell it has one function: change source or edit source or replace one thing with another, and the tool will automatically lock, change, get, push, and activate and stuff. So less mental load on our friend. Okay, yeah, it's done. So yeah, you can see the explanation how it works, what was created, and the good part, you can do it with anything that not just developed. And I assure you, it just it didn't access the local brainstorming stuff. It was all inferred from the code that we have in the system. So imagine if a system with this tool can read the specs from 1980s for that machine and then implement according to specification the whole virtual machine for that thing. And this is not a really, I would say, not really simple task. I would maybe argue that it might be a couple of order of magnitude more complex than something is usually in business code, which is like business rules and stuff, or maybe on the same level, let's say. Okay. So if it can do that, then it can improve your existing base. It can create unit tests for your existing code base. It can give you explanation of what the hell is happening in your system. And if you have all this, you can modernize your code, you can refactor it. And there are tools for that because there are tools in ADT to rename stuff, to change the package, to do whatever. So you can modernize, and even I believe that you can do upgrade with these tools. It will be a really tremendous helper for this type of tasks.
No, I fully agree. This looks really amazing. And I mean, obviously the core, the heart here is the MCP server that you have here that allows you really from Claude to connect to your SAP system so that Claude really has the understanding of how your SAP system works, what is there, what is not there, which then allows you also to generate new ABAP code, and to refactor, as you said, and maybe modernize even the ABAP code there.
Yeah, and just a small note, it doesn't need to be exactly Claude code. It might be something different, like Copilot or
No, of
maybe
course. Yeah,
Codex or something like that. Everything that has access to MCP should able to do that, except Eclipse, because in Eclipse it has some issues with agentic mode. But I mean, I have just tested it like end-to-end in Claude Code, but I believe that it should work with Klein, RU code, or whatever we have. But yeah, we have to just see if it has if it can do that. Do you want to develop something? We can quickly ask to do something and continue.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do. I was actually just thinking maybe we should have a dedicated session where we do a live vibe coding with Alice or something like that, where we really think of a project. But maybe for starters, as a quick teaser, maybe we can just vibe code a simple ABAP report that, I don't know, maybe something a little more sophisticated than Hello World, but just something to get started, and then maybe it would make sense to have a dedicated session with you to see Alice and Claude vibe coding together or something like that.
Report. Well, let's keep in mind that this is a developer system, like
no business.
For age. There is no
right.
business modules, but we can develop something. Oh, how about for the top standard APIs that is used in that code. The tables cross and I don't remember which one, but yeah, something like that. So the idea is, there are two tables actually that has this index on where is used, thing. So to get the most, so you can see the get table. So it
don't
will
ask again. Okay.
So search objects. So first it will, if it's not, WP cross. And with this we can understand top most used ones. And if we know what is top most used one, we can focus on that one and see what we actually need for. I will just press yes. That's one of the top most actions that you are doing as a vibe coder. Yes.
Always yes.
Go. Well, not always, but sometimes you can say, oh, no, this don't delete production database. Yeah.
Let's see, it's still thinking. But so let's see what report is being created. I mean, now we are still.
Yeah, so we can see that initial actions to gather information, what is the type of those.
So it also uses your existing package. It puts everything in the. Set 6502. So maybe we should have said, look, use $temp or whatever. But okay.
That's one of the interesting things, because probably there will be questions. What if it will try to do or change something that is not in temp or something others? When is it?
Okay.
No, not yet, but it is in another.
But I think it said here. There's a ZAP usage analyzer.
Okay.
So if we go to the SAP GUI.
Let's go there. Okay. Let's go directly there. So the point is that when you launching this MCP server, you can inactive. Oh yes, it's inactive. Let's try to activate. Okay.
2 errors. Okay.
Oh, because there it sometimes it is trying to. Let's do.
But
this.
you should be able to feed this into Claude, right? And tell Claude, look, there was this activation error.
But yeah, well, let's.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
let's have something for us.
Okay.
We like yeah. Otherwise, we will be like we have no control at all, or whatever. let's show who's boss here. Okay, so it was trying to assign the text. This thing. Yeah. Initialization, it was trying to assign the text to those things, and this is not how you do this because it cannot create text labels. So we just have to,
uncommented.
As you can see, it just we commented 2 lines, and then okay, okay, whatever. Tell us. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, the most used one is Babul type method. Oh yeah, we have. You can see that we also have this explanation what the type of the object is, like the type method, that method if message that the X root is like, well, yeah, everything is reasonable. Okay, let's see. I would think that the top most usually like about 10,000, but 5 and see when we go down the lowest thing. You can see that this is like poor usages is like, we can just ignore that. So the most significant thing is actually first 2, even less than 2,000. Well,
count 8.
Even less.
So it's
yeah. So well, that's not the business system. So there is not so much Z code, but I think you got the idea.
But
yeah. So basically, when we creating and launching the MCP server, we can say you only can go to this packages. Not just only you can go. It will not give you. It will not give it an access to any other not green listed packages, or we can set up read-only mode, or so kind of this guardrails are also there. So sorry, Goran, back to you.
Yeah. Just for the audience, we haven't prepared this. This was just spontaneous.
No, but I think this is even better.
This is even better because it's just on the fly. I mean, you tell and give me the repo and boom, So okay, 2 lines out connected. All right. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, that's a simple report, and we only had to comment 2 lines, and those lines were not something like significant issues. It was he was trying to assign the name, the text to labels. So yeah, if we will have some tools, so it will be assigning in advance, then it will be even easier.
Yeah. No, this is really great. So now if I want to do the same, how can I get access to the MCP server, Alice? I think you have published everything on exactly.
Yeah, so I'm kind of this is Steampunk, vibing Steampunk. This is how it looks like when you're vibing in Steampunk.
I have already, or I will put the link also in the description so that everyone can easily get started with the instructions. As you said, the idea is you have the MCP server, then you can use it in Claude, in GitHub Copilot, in any MCP client basically, and from there you can connect to your SAP system and start vibe coding with Steampunk. And how it works is something that we've just seen. I mean, a simple example, but I think that was still very, very powerful. As you said, it generated the code. Yes, you needed to do some small changes, but it actually worked. So I think this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I would say, yeah, well, it all started about 2.5 years ago when I started to fine-tune models to understand the ABAP and stuff. And the holy grail at that point was to have a model that will understand the ABAP or can generate ABAP. Now they are on that level, and that's not a holy grail. Now you can see that the focus is shifting not to understanding or generating the exact syntactically correct code, but to use tools, because tools are the most important part to that. Is that they will give assistant an option to create, activate, and when it is activating, it can get all this syntax error and correct himself. So yeah, that's the feedback loop that is improving itself. So yeah, that's the whole point.
Great, Alice. I think this is again absolutely amazing. And as I was just saying, we should talk offline whether it would make sense to have another session where we upfront, not like what Gora was just saying, that we just think of it and do it live on the show, but that we think of a scenario up front, and then we prepare everything, and then we follow you how you do some vibe coding, like a more, I don't know, more realistic scenario, but just something. Yeah, exactly.
One of the scenarios could be like what you mentioned, refactoring of the existing code, because this is something that everybody would need to do it or would be advised to do it, right? As an example, not just the new code like you did it now, but you have existing code, and let's take an existing code and run it and see how the Claude would kind of improve it, so to say.
How about find some OSS notes and say, okay, apply this OSS note, or maybe we can find some simplification.
That would be an action as well, additional. Yeah, excellent, super.
Or the list of simplified objects. Well, simplified
exactly.
Deleted.
Let's take this offline.
Okay,
let's continue
do
the
it
discussion there. But I think, I mean, if you are able to develop Zork with this, we should be able to find other use cases where we can also do some
I'm not
cool
sure.
development.
Maybe it's only good for Zork. No. We have to. Maybe.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
Perfect. Well, Alice, for now, thank you so much again. It was fun, like always. It's amazing to see like what you're doing in this area, and I'm sure this will be super helpful for our customers and partners. Again, we'll put all the links in the show notes so that everyone can easily get started. For now, thank you so much, and we'll have you back on our show very soon, I would say.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.